Alright, so apparently I just had some recording issues, so I don't know how much of that match got covered, so I'll just cover it again real quick. He leg sweeped Ernesto and just stared at him as Ernesto got up. He slapped him. He hits a big body slam and a nice suplex. There's a drop kick, but Rebel no sells it, just staying there. Ernesto goes for another one, and Rebel just moves out of the way. He lets Ernesto up after hitting a power slam and pinning him, and then he hits a spine buster with a foot on the chest to win. Overall, this was, outside of Terry Funk's promo, this was the best thing on ECW, because it was a squash match, but unlike the Jim Crockett Promotions squash matches, this one was like 12 seconds. And it was good for Rebel. Overall, Rebel has not been a downslide on ECW. I mean, the build to him and Sandman where he broke surfboard over Sandman's head, having Tiger in his corner, now squashing the guy. It's a good... They're not doing bad with Rock and Rebel. Ringside, we have Todd Gordon and Hunter Q. Robinson III. My first notes go, I swear to God, no, fuck you, Todd, no, oh my God, no DQ, no time limit, titles versus hair, fuck you, Todd, fuck this company, fuck ECW, I'm glad they're dead, fuck Hunter, fuck the Super Destroyers, fuck Todd, Hunter's handcuffed to Tommy Cairo, fuck Tommy Cairo, Hunter's mad, fuck Hunter, but not as mad as me, fuck me, again, fuck. So if you don't understand from my notes, next week, because of the bullshit finish, Todd Gordon is giving them a rematch, which I guess Hunter was right that they just cry and get a rematch, but this time it's tag titles versus hair. If Tommy and Larry lose, they lose their hair. But it's a rematch. And Tommy Cairo, who has had nothing to do with this feud, is going to be out there to be handcuffed to Hunter. Woo! Fucking motherfucker. I should have just stopped reviewing this show. Jonathan Hotbody and Christopher Candido are backstage. Candido said everybody is looking at him. They are Christopher and Jonathan. They will fight anyone. Street people from New York. Find out why they are suicide blondes. I covered that in seconds, but I'm still pissed off over the fact that I had to watch that match again. And it was a promo. It was nothing special. Which leads us to our main event. A grudge match. Tommy Cairo versus Jonathan Hotbody with Christopher Candido. And, you know, they have at least been building this feud for weeks. I'm pretty sure since like episode 1 or 2. So fine. I was in a bad mood after I heard the fucking tag title rematch. So my notes may not be the best for this match. Forgive me. But don't worry, I'll tell you why in a second. This blood feud starts off as arm drags and hip tosses. Truly, the bloodiest of feuds. There's a strike spot that Hotbody kicks Cairo, trying to get the advantage, but Cairo, with his Iron Man gut, just kicks Jonathan twice, no selling it. And then he does a Northern Light suplex while still in a test of strength grip. That was pretty nice. He's beating out Hotbody for a bit, but Johnny Hotbody hits Cairo with a knee as he's distracted by Christopher Candido. Cairo falls to the outside, and Jonathan Hotbody does a Cactus Jack running elbow off the apron. I don't know if this was planned. They keep fighting for a bit. There's nothing noticeable in the next few minutes, but Hotbody puts Cairo on the top. And I'm thinking that they're going for a superplex. But it's a DDT? Like they fucking fall in a DDT, but it looked like Cairo was like supposed to go over how he was flipping, and it looks like he didn't get all the way over. And I don't know if that was planned. Thankfully, Cairo's fine. But it was a fucking DDT from the top. It didn't look good, but Cairo seemed to be fine. He would be on the next episode, so whatever. Jonathan Hotbody goes to the top and he comes off, but Cairo catches him with something. Don't know what the move was. Christopher Candido gets on the apron, but Cairo pushes Hotbody into Candido and rolls him up to win. The feud is not over, though, as Jonathan Hotbody and Tommy Cairo keep rolling on the outside as the show ends. which would lead us to next week. That was not good. The match was that's probably the best match on the card, but that's not saying much. It's probably just fine. I mean, if I look now, it's in the meh category, because if they got more time, it probably could have been better, but it seemed rushed. I thought it was the grudge match, but the feud goes on to next week. But this was a bad episode of ECW. If I go to my great, good, meh, bad, horrible, and now question mark category, there was enough. I have Terry Funk's promo with a horse's ass in the question mark category, but I'm probably going to move that to great, but with great question mark. Like, it was great, but it was horrible, but I loved it because it's Terry Funk yelling at a horse's ass. The good on the show was the arrival of Paul Heyman and Rockin' Rebel Squash. Dak building up a good challenger. I'm fine with that. The meh on the show was Tommy Cairo versus Jonathan Hotbody outside the DDT that I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a superplex, but if it was supposed to be a DDT, I guess there was nothing really fucked up in this match. It's not a really great match. The bad was Don Morocco and Eddie Gilbert versus JT Smith and Glenn Osborne. Hunter Q. Robinson's backstage promo and the Suicide Blondes promo. I want to like Candido and Jonathan's promos, but it just wasn't that good of a promo this week. The horrible was the Super Destroyers versus Larry and Tony, which I have got to sift through again for episode 6. Sandman versus Sal sucked, and the finish was stupid. And then I wrote extra horrible, the announcement of the Super Destroyers versus Larry and Tony rematch. And the question mark was Wildman Sal Baromo's backstage promo, because I have no idea what the fuck to make about that. Which brings us to next week, ECW Hardcore TV episode 6 from May 11th, 1993. The intro for this show, I've never talked about it, but they do have like a little 20, 30 second intro. And you see British Bulldog, Jim Neidhart, Nikolai Volkov, and Ivan Koloff and I can't wait for them to show up, see what they do. Jay Scully and Todd Gordon introduce us to the show. Yeah, you weren't expecting fucking Stevie Wonderful. Nah, they're switching it up on us. They do a horrible back and forth where like they're clearly just have lines planned and Todd Gordon's clearly reading from the fucking script in front of him. They talk about the tag title match. I want to already stop watching. Todd is clearly reading the script that's in front of him, as am I, if you could not tell by me just repeating that line. They announced that there's a time permitting, we will get a mixed tag team match tonight between Sandman and Peaches versus Rockin' Rebel and Tigra. I wrote Peaches twice, but you know. They did a recap of the Sandman Rockin' Rebel feud that's been building for a few weeks, which, you know, that's good. I like the squash from episode 5. Paulie Dangerously walks up and he blows on the back of Todd Gordon's neck. I bet they had a fun night that night. Dangerous Alliance and the Hot Stuff International, they have merged. He says that Terry Funk versus Eddie Gilbert has been canceled. Gordon says, no, it hasn't been canceled. Paulie Dangerously said his lawyers said the match is canceled. Todd said, your lawyer said it's canceled, but I say it's not, so sue me if you got a problem, boy. Paul said he is going to sue him. Paul said he won't be disappointed because Todd said, sue me, you'll be disappointed. Paul said he won't be disappointed, and the only person to disappoint him was Todd's wife last night. Damn, you tell him, Paul. He asked if he wanted to get personal. He says that he will take this promotion down. And yes and no. He took it up and then killed it. But I'm sorry, I'm spoiling Paul Heyman's career. Paulie Dangerously, I don't know what he's going to do in ECW. We'll have to find out. Will he really take it down? We'll have to learn. In their opinion, there was no chance the match could happen. And he called Todd Gordon, in Paul's own words, as useless as a woman from Philly. Which brings us to... Oh, God. Which brings us back to the farm with Terry Funk. And if you thought his horse promo was insane, the first thing you see is Terry Funk driving at us in a tractor. Funk said from in a ring on a farm, you gotta have the proper equipment. He said if you're a farmer or if you're farming or ranching, you gotta be able to farm and ranch. And you know, when you put it that way, Terry, that's a fucking good point. He says when you're in a wrestling, you gotta be a darn good wrestler. And you know, actually half this roster has proved you wrong there. But in your case, that's a darn good point, Terry Funk. He says on the farm, you can be confronted by anything. You can be confronted by coyotes, wolves, raccoons, predators, or perverts. Perverts can come on your farm. And then he goes, speaking of perverts, here's one now. And some random guy walks into the frame. You never see his face. He's just wearing a red shirt. And he walks up to Terry Funk. And Terry said, boy, you ain't from Texas. You know you not walk up on my farm like that. I pooey. That was a terrible Terry Funk, but you know it. He said, what's your name? And the guy said, I'm Eddie Gilbert's brother. And Terry Funk, and I'm here to challenge you. And Terry Funk goes, oh, you're Eddie Gilbert's brother. Hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert's brother. Well, what's your name? And the guy goes, hotter stuff. And Terry says, hotter stuff, huh? And Terry punches him in the gut. And then he goes to gorilla press him. And I don't know if they were trying to make a joke of this or if they thought this was serious, but it is the most clear dummy in the world. He's wearing a red shirt and jeans as the guy, but it's a dummy. It's just a white face with no hair, no expression, white arms, there's like no fingers, white legs where it doesn't even look like legs. It's just the most clear dummy in the world. Terry's like spinning him around in a gorilla press position, but the guy off camera's going, whoa, whoa, like you're supposed to believe that it's still him. Terry throws this man, hotter stuff, or this dummy, hotter stuff, into a fucking tractor. He raises it, then he drops the dummy out of the tractor and runs over it cackling like a fucking madman. Then he goes in reverse and runs over it again, still cackling like a madman. I think he wants to do it again, but it gets caught behind its back wheel, so he just keeps driving. And then it's just a close-up of him fucking laughing like an insane man, saying that he can't wait for his match with Eddie, which I guess means he's gonna fucking run over him. This was the fucking highlight of the 6 weeks of ECW. This was the best thing they've done in 6 weeks. This was so fucking insane. Because from the dummy to Terry Funk's laughing, this was something you gotta see. Like, it's episode 6, May 11th, 1993. It's like the first segment of the show after the announcers. It's fucking awesome. From the highest highs to the lowest lows. You know what's not awesome? For the tag titles, again, after their last chance ever match the previous week, the fucking Super Destroyers was Hunter Q. Robinson handcuffed to Tommy Cairo versus Tony Stenson and Larry Winters. Fuck. The match starts off as Tony and Larry jumping the Super Destroyers as they get in the ring. I'm not even going to try to describe this match. I'm just reading off my notes. I don't give a fuck at this point. I've had to sit through this from episode 3 to episode 6. I'm glad I'm doing 2 weeks in a row, because if I would have waited a full fucking week and then found out that I had to watch that match again, this would be done. Super Destroyer slams Larry's head in the area of the ring post. He doesn't even slam it into the ring post. He slams it next to it, the air of the ring post. Tommy Cairo comes out. I guess he wasn't there earlier. And he handcuffs himself to Hunter, and they take a seat. It's no DQ. They said no DQ, but they're still tagging in and out. God forbid all 4 men are in the ring in a no DQ match. Larry does some moves. He tags in Tony, and Tony. I've been shitting on the Super Destroyers well-deservedly because they fucking suck. But Tony, if he was in a feud with anybody else, he would be like the guy I shit on the most. He fucking sucks. He does shoulder tackles, shoulder tackles to the Super Destroyers. What's the problem with shoulder tackles, you ask? It's very common. You do it in the corner. Maybe if the guy's leaning against the ropes, you can even shoulder tackle him there. You know what the problem is? Super Destroyer, this wasn't even his fault this time. Super Destroyer wasn't in the corner. Super Destroyer wasn't on the ropes. Super Destroyer was standing, not in the middle of the ring like near the ropes, but not against the ropes. And he's just throwing shoulder tackles to a standing man who has to sell it standing. And he just keeps doing it. Tony. Back to Tony. He hits, I don't know if it was supposed to be a punch or a forearm. I think it's supposed to start off as a punch, but he can't throw a fucking punch, as I said in the last week's review. And he punches up and his forearm hits fucking Super Destroyer in the chest. It looked horrible. The other Super Destroyer just tagged in and hits a low blow to Larry. Oh, I got some Larry's back in the ring now. I couldn't care less. I guess Larry's on the outside. One Super Destroyer stands on the middle rope on the outside. And he falls and hits something. You can't see it. They brawl on the outside. I literally have no idea what the fuck is going on because they're just fighting. I don't know which Super Destroyer is who. I don't know who's a legal man in this no DQ match. Everyone's just brawling on the outside. Somehow Hunter falls over in his fucking chair and Cairo yelled at him. They're still brawling on the outside. What the fuck is going on? Larry's back in the ring and he sits Super Destroyer. Oh my fucking god. So Super Destroyer and Larry get back in the ring. And Larry's doing the spot where Super Destroyer's sitting in the corner and Larry's kicking him. Well, what's wrong with that, you ask? That's in every match that's ever taken place in the history of the world, that they are fucking sitting in the corner getting kicked. Well, you know what the problem with that is? Super Destroyer's not sitting in the corner. Super Destroyer is sitting in the proximity of the corner, looking at the corner. That's right. His chest is facing the corner. His back is facing the ring. And Larry is kicking his back as he's like an inch away from the fucking turnbuckle, but he's not sitting in the corner. Somehow Tony gets tagged back in. I don't even know if this is the same Super Destroyer. Super Destroyer and Tony, they get into a cat fight, the roll-around spot, and they try to do the spot where they roll out of the ring still like in each other's grip. They get stuck. These two motherfuckers are so horrible that they get fucking stuck under the bottom rope. And I guess it's stuck. They're like on top of each other. They can't get out of the ring. They cannot get out of the fucking ring rolling. Oh my fucking god. Tony does more of his horrible punches. And Super Destroyer, he's overly dramatic selling it. Tony stands there. Who was that one guy in Jim Crockett Promotions? I forgot his name. He did a drop kick and he never knew how to follow it up. Well, fuck, Tony throws punches and he doesn't know how to follow it up. Somehow, some way, I don't know how, I don't know who threw it. Hunter Q. Robinson's fucking cane gets thrown in the ring. Tony takes it, and I say hits, but he doesn't hit. He pushes Super Destroyer with it and pins him to win. We've got new tag team champions. I don't know. I thought in the weeks leading up to this that when the Super Destroyers lost the tag titles, I'd be happy. But they lost it to Tony, who could just put on a mask and black clothes, and he could be the third Super Destroyer with how fucking much he sucks. Now I gotta sit through more Tony matches, and I don't know what the fuck the Super Destroyers are doing. Super Destroyer, who got pinned, by the way, he kicks out as Ree like he's fucking Hulk Hogan. He can't be pinned. Larry hits one of the Super Destroyers in the head with a cane. These somehow get worse every week, and if they fight next week, this review is done. Jimmy Snuka and Eddie Gilbert was Paulie Dangerously take on JT Smith again, and this time his new tag partner Max Thrasher. He's fat, he's got 80s hair in 1993. Let's get going. Heyman takes a mic and he goes, "My name is Paul Heyman," and he introduces. Well, it doesn't say Paul Heyman. He says the reigning, defending, undisputed tribal chief of the world, Jimmy, the man from every woman's fantasy, makes all the girls feel so good, Eddie Gilbert, and he calls Jimmy Snuka. He calls Jimmy Snuka, now this is Paul Heyman in 93, a product of the jungle and a walking nightmare. let's go to the match. Oh, no, I'm sorry, let's not go to the match. Because on the outside, Paul paid Jay to leave, and he joined the announce table. He was fine on commentary. He'd get better. He was funny, but I didn't really write down any of his quotes. They do a very slow crisscross spot at the beginning because Jimmy can't run very fast. JT goes for a body slam. A very simple move. I don't know if Snuka didn't rotate or if JT's not a big man. If he couldn't hold the weight of Snuka, he falls backwards. But he falls backwards, still holding Snuka above his head. So Snuka goes backwards on his back, over his head. It looked like a weird version of a fall-away slam if you're having trouble picturing it. Like, I don't know how the fuck Snuka didn't die. But if that was planned, it didn't look horrible either. It looked like he just, like, threw him. It looked like a weird fall-away slam. So, Eddie Gilbert gets tagged in. JT didn't get offense for long before Snuka took over. Eddie Gilbert gets tagged in, and he throws punches. By the way, has there ever been a man who's had to work so hard in a faction as Eddie Gilbert than working with 1993 Jimmy Snuka and Don Morocco? He's got to do all the fucking in-ring work. He's got nice punches. A trademark of this ECW, fucking Max is stupid and distracts the ref, so Jimmy Snuka can smash JT's head onto the announce table after Eddie threw him out there. They keep beating up JT for a little bit. Max finally gets tagged in. This is all Max does. This is the entire sequence from when Max gets tagged in to when the match is over. Max gets tagged in. Chokes Jimmy on the ropes. Eddie just walks in the ring. The ref's like, whatever. Eddie throws Max down, hits a backbreaker. Jimmy goes to the top, and I'll give him credit. He actually got really high up for this frog splash. It looked pretty impressive. And they win. So, I mean, JT got his ass kicked the entire time, and no wonder he didn't fucking tag out earlier. Fucking Max didn't do jack shit. Jimmy Snuka and Eddie Gilbert are your winner. Sal is backstage again. He says he doesn't like Philly. All people do in Philly is watch TV. They don't play any sports. He says he doesn't like men. He doesn't like women. He likes kids. And at this point, I'm like, they should have edited this off the network. This doesn't sound good. I don't like where this promo is going. He said everybody wants kids, but nobody wants to take care of them. And now, this doesn't sound good. I don't like where this gimmick is going. The man who likes kids, Sal Balemo. I don't like this. I guess it explains why he high-fived the kid last week, but I don't want to think about that. But let's brings us to Sal Balemo. Oh, fuck. I don't want to think about it, but let's go straight to Sal Balemo from his promo versus a Canadian Wolfman. Great to see this fat motherfucker is back with his jeans and his bald head and his beer gut that enters a room a full minute before he does. He makes fucking Don Morocco look skinny on this show. Sal is fat, but at least he covers it up. The match starts and Sal just walks over and punches the Wolfman. Sal hits an okay drop kick. He actually got pretty good up for a fat man. He gets Wolfman into the corner and Sal bites the Wolfman. They're on the ground and Sal hits a back rake to Wolfman. At this point, his jeans start to sag so you can see his red underwear. I wrote down, you need a wrestling license in 1993. How the fuck did Wolfman get it? Because if you look at him, he is so out of shape. And right as I say that, Jay Scully goes, neither of these men got great cardio stamina. And boy, ain't that true. Sal was a body slam and a running splash to win. Fucking Sal won. There you go. After saying he likes kids. Let's move on from Sal. We go to Jonathan Hotbody versus Tommy Cairo in a lumberjack match. The smallest lumberjack match ever. There's like 6 lumberjacks out there. I guess this is due from last week. Candido getting involved? I'm not sure. I did not like this match. I'm not going to lie. I find Tommy Cairo and Johnny Hotbody to be fine. Uninsulting on ECW. But this match sucked. This was like the quickest fucking lumberjack match you'll ever watch. But it was also like they have never done a lumberjack match before. Which, to be fair, this was the first lumberjack in ECW history. But they just want to really prove to people that you can go outside the ring and get thrown back in the ring. Because Jonathan Hotbody went outside the ring like every 45 seconds and got thrown back in the ring. They really fucking overdid it. My first one was, Jonathan quickly outside, and Tony Stenson pushes him back in. Tommy with a suplex, a hot body who rolls under the rope. And he's not even on the floor. He's just on the outside of the ring, like on the apron. And fucking Larry Winters punches him like the cheating fuck that he is. I'm starting to hate Larry now because that's who he's been associated with. Hot body just keeps going outside and they keep throwing him back in. They just keep doing that spot like over and over and over and over and over and over throughout the match. Eventually, Jonathan is able to take over as a low blow. It's like his first move of the match. Tommy Cairo is thrown out and he's jumped by Chris Candido before getting thrown back in. Jonathan continues to work over Tommy. At one point, Tommy's laying on the apron on the outside, and Candido's like somewhat attacking him, like holding his head. And Sal Balemo, who has been... we can't get away from it. Who's been standing next to Candido the entire match. He attacks Candido, like punches him in the back of his neck. And then he just walks away. And then 20 seconds later, they're just standing next to each other again. Jonathan Hotbody leaves the ring for the 20th time, I wrote. And he's pushed back in. Woo, what a fun fucking lumberjack match this is. Cairo with a middle rope clothesline. But the ref's just gone. I don't know where he went. Then Hunter Q. Robinson runs in and he hits Tommy Cairo with his cane multiple times. As this is going on, you can see in the background, all the wrestlers are just in a huddle, probably a brawl. I wonder if Sal jumped his Q attacking Candido, and that's where the ref is. The ref gets back in and Hotbody pins Candido for the win. It sucked, and it sucks that it sucked because Tommy Cairo and Jonathan Hotbody I haven't hated them yet, but I will. But nah, that just sucked. That was just a bad match. There's a replay of Terry Funk's horse promo from last week, which brings us to our main event, Sandman and Peaches versus Rock and Rebel and Tigra. Rebel jumps Sandman, throws him over the top rope. Paul says Sandman leaped over the top rope to run away from Rock and Rebel. Must have got that from his Bobby Heenan, Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels. Sandman was a sunset flip over the top rope, actually, but Rebel holds on to the top rope. Peaches slaps him so he goes down, but it's only a 2. As they get back up, Sandman hits his one-leg dropkick, which again turns into a drop salt. I was thinking, Paul's looking at Sandman right now. Not a good wrestler, but like in his fucking wetsuit, and Paul says, yep, that's going to be my megastar. Sandman's just beating Rebel's ass. Tiger keeps refusing a tag. Eventually, they keep fighting, Sandman and Rebel do. Rebel gets thrown over the top. Peaches tags herself in, and Tigra gets in. They get into a cat fight spot, and they roll around. Just as the show ends, we don't know who wins. I fucking waste my life watching ECW, and that fucking sucked. So, let's go to the great, the good, the meh, the bad, and the horrible. The great was Terry Funk on the farm. Fucking awesome. Saves the show. I'm just thinking about what this would be if these fucking segments weren't on this show. Jesus Christ. The good was Paul Heyman's opening promo. He would have much better promos in his career, but it was still a good promo. The meh, there was nothing. Even meh. The bad, Jimmy Snuka and Eddie Gilbert versus JT Smith and Max Thrasher. Sal's promo and match, and the mixed tag, especially the mixed tag finish. The fact that it just went off in the main event. The lumberjack match sucked. Fucking terrible lumberjack matches. And lumberjack matches aren't usually good, but this one just fucking sucked. And the Super Destroyers versus Larry and Tony, again, fucking sucked. They get worse every week, and they better be done. I swear to fucking God, if I turn on ECW for episode 7 and I hear that they're having a match again, this review shit's done. Straight up, it's done. I'm not watching any more Super Destroyers versus fucking Tommy and Larry. I have to watch, not Tommy, I'm sorry, Tony and Larry, because now Tony's going to drag down whatever feud they got going on. It looks like the Super Destroyers, because of Hunter, are going to feud with Tommy Cairo, so yay! I guess Tommy's going to get a partner. Overall, with the exception of Terry Funk and Paul Heyman, these 2 episodes fucking sucked. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next week with episode 7 and 8.